Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
So as I said earlier in the program, I constantly talk about three governors, blue states, as being the worst in America. We've got one right here in New York. Her name is Kathy Hochul. She's as bad as it gets. Obviously, this week with the horrible murder of that 18-year-old Loyola student, once again, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, that fat, stupid prick, he's out there every day. You can't stand him either. And then, of course, you've got Gavin Newsom out there in California. Well, here's the good news for the Democrats. You got another governor gaining on Hochul, Pritzker, and Newsom, and she's right next door in New Jersey. Now, you know, last week when I was in Florida, a lot of you guys saw my post, thousands of you, on Instagram and Twitter with Mikie Sherrill, who beat Jack Ciattarelli, wearing the Muslim garb on Ramadan. As if that wasn't bad enough, it turns out she took that picture with an imam who has alleged Hamas ties. So she's hanging out with a guy who's got alleged Hamas ties, and now she wants to take the masks off of ICE agents in the state of New Jersey and basically render ICE helpless in their efforts to put people away, people who killed this young girl in Chicago, who shoved an 83-year-old veteran on the subway tracks here in New York. That's your governor in New Jersey, folks. Her name is Mikie Sherrill. Congratulations. Brian Kilmeade does an amazing job after me each and every weekday morning at 10 a.m. here on 77 WABC, part of that great Fox and Friends team on Fox News, and his own terrific show, my favorite show on Fox News, One Nation, 10 p.m. on Sunday nights. Kilmeade, I think you'd agree, Mikie Sherrill, she's gaining on these other folks.
No kidding. I mean, what are people in New Jersey thinking? You forgot. Jack Ciattarelli seemed like so competent. He seemed like the second coming of, in many ways, Chris Christie, who I think did a really good job in New Jersey. But I will say that what she's doing now, it just goes to show you whatever people run on in 2026, they got to pretend to win that they're moderate. They're not. I mean, if you look at the governor of Virginia, pretend to be a moderate. She's an absolute left-winger. And now you have Mikie Sherrill, who thinks that ICE are the problem and thinks that Muslims are misunderstood, and especially a radical. Does anyone Google these people before she shows up? I mean, you got to be kidding me. And also, the fact is, she had to come out and say, I despise the phrase globalize the intifada. You think? Where did that come from? I guess because this guy has said it before. That's my sense.
And we still haven't heard anything from the mayor, Mamdani, who has had multiple opportunities, globalize the intifada, to put that down, and he's never done it. I think I'm going to endorse this guy, Joe Hathaway, in New Jersey. He's actually running for the vacated seat in the House that Mikie Sherrill left open when she obviously ran and now is the governor of New Jersey. We'll see, but she is terrible. But talking about Mamdani, yesterday, Julie Menin and the city council here, Brian, able to pass some bills that create a buffer zone in front of synagogues, all houses of worship, not just Jewish people, schools, keeping our kids and our religious worshipers safe. And, of course, Mamdani is not for it. He believes it's an attack on our First Amendment rights. I don't understand that, but, of course, that aligns with Mamdani's thinking, which is basically he doesn't care about anybody in this city except for the Muslims. So even though I've had a back and forth here with Julie Menin, a pretty rough back and forth, I do commend the city council and what they did yesterday. Now we'll see what the mayor does on his next move.
Yeah, I don't really. I know you're following this on the play-by-play. I just, I can't see any progress with him. I think it only gets worse, and I think that, he's got to focus right now on balancing his budget. I mean, just dollars and cents. You have no sense of politics. Don't worry about foreign policy. You got to find a way to pay your bills. I mean, we're getting our credit downgraded again in New York City, so by a different regulating agency. So I'm not convinced that he showed competence in any area.
Hard to argue that. That's what he's been so far. About 100 days. It's been a complete mess for this mayor, Mamdani. Let me move to the big stuff going on in the country today. President Trump, another pause now. Seems like he's doing everything he can, Brian, to stop the aggressive efforts against Iran. I don't know if they're trying to help here. I don't even know who he's talking to. My wife asked me yesterday, she goes, who exactly is President Trump talking to in Iran in terms of furthering any peace talks? O'Reilly told me yesterday it's not Vance and Rubio, it's still Kushner and Witkoff, but no one seems to know who's in charge in Iran. So while the president puts out another pause, what does that actually mean? I mean, who's running the show out there?
Well, evidently they were supposed to kill the foreign minister as well as the Speaker of the House. And the Pakistanis got in touch with us and said, please don't kill him. We had him in the coordinates. He goes, these are the only people we can talk to. So they kept that foreign minister, that cocky bastard who gets on media and talks about how they're winning the war, which is absolutely insane. That's the whole thing. I mean, if you look at other channels, if you look at the average newspaper across the country, they think that Trump's having a nightmare. Our military has never been better, and they're systematically executing a plan that is just taking this terror state down to size. And now you have a situation where, in order to get the number, I think is up to 70 leaders they have to go out of their way to keep these two alive. They were in our crosshairs. We had the coordinates. The Israelis were ready to take them out. We asked them not to. So I think now we got the big focus now is what are we doing with the 5,000 Marines that land today? And what are we doing with the 2,000 members of the 82nd Airborne? And then the Wall Street Journal has 10,000 possibly ready to come into the theater. You know, I think it's a couple of things. I think we want to get the uranium ourselves. I think we're going to go into heavy equipment, and we need our workers protected as we try to dig it out. And I think we're going to open up the strait ourselves. So I think we're going to do those two things within the next 2 weeks. You open up that strait. There's 2,000 ships looking to get through. You open up that strait, and then you finish them off. The price of oil goes down to 70 where it belongs, not 90 where it is. And then the pressure is off on the economy. So that's what I think the president's doing. He has been told by the Gulf states, don't leave a rump state. Because if you leave them there with the potential to rebuild, China's going to help them rebuild. We're going to be right back in here, and they're going to be taking aim at Qatar and Oman again.
Are you surprised, Brian, that Iran is still able to fire off all these missiles? I spoke to Alex Trayman in Jerusalem a couple of days ago, and he said, look, I think Israel, United States, has taken out about 80% of what they got. I keep hearing that number now for months. But every day there seems to be a barrage of missiles going into Israel. Poor Trey Yingst, that guy's unbelievable. And even the U.S. base is now getting hit by Iran. Are you surprised they still have that much firepower left?
Don't be fooled. They got about 12. They're hitting about 12 rockets a day, and they're hitting areas in which I guess are atypical, where they can get maximum bang for their buck. But they were doing 100. They were doing hundreds. Now they're down to 12, and they're no longer able to flood the zone, even with cheap drones. So they're being knocked down. But we have our Western reporters reporting because we can't get into Iran, so we're not finding out any of the damage we're doing. We're just hearing about incoming rocket. Well, how many are there? 12. How many countries? Like 9. There's 9 countries in the crosshairs. They hit 12 rockets every day. And look, one of the big problems is when they store their missiles in the side of a mountain, 500 miles from the shore. This Yaz Mountain, we've taken shots at it. Israel's taken shots at it. We've done some damage, but we're unable to wreck it yet. But that's coming. So just be realistic. It's a nation of 90 million. It's a huge country. And I think that we're now really doing whatever we want, able to target. I guess we took out 370 of the 450 launchers that they had. So we're slowly, like an anaconda, choking them out.
Like an anaconda. I like that. All right. On a lighter note, the Yankees hammered the Giants 2 nights ago. They're back at it this afternoon. The Metropolitans hammered Paul Skeens. Many think he's the best pitcher in baseball. He couldn't stop this new Met offense yesterday. So local baseball teams off to a good start. Look at the schedule today. 4 o'clock this afternoon, the Yankees and the Giants. Here come the Yankees again, looking to start the season at 2-0. And then you get right into St. John's basketball against Duke later on tonight. You're a sports guy like me, Brian Kilmeade, by nature. How exciting is this Friday for the New York sports fan?
I think it's great. I know this it's a crazy statement, but I'm worried a little about Aaron Judge. And I know he's coming off an MVP year. I mean, 0 for 4. He only had 6 hits in Baseball Classic all those days. Again, in the clutch, not coming up big. He's one of the class acts in all of sports. He's going to go down right to the Hall of Fame. But when it comes to producing in the clutch, I'm wondering if it's getting in his head at this point. Then he goes back home to San Francisco, strikes out 4 times. And then I can't wait for St. John's tonight. You give Rick Pitino, the 72-year-old, 5 days to prepare for anyone, even though the number 1 team in the country. He is playing with house money right now, but Duke is not playing well. I watched them twice. They do not look like the number 1 team in the country, and they got a key injury. So I'd think you crazy to bet against. I don't want anyone betting, especially you, Sid. Bet against St. John's.